What's up, everybody? Welcome to the first episode of the Scene Snob Reviews. It's a new format show we're doing. This will also be a podcast with the Scene Snobs podcast. It's kind of a complimentary extra piece throughout every other week or so when we do these, where we are just going to review the new movies coming out that we've seen. I'm going to have friends join along the way, and we're just going to rate and review them as we go and talk about them. So we appreciate you guys joining us. You can listen to this on the Scene Snobs podcast and wherever podcasts are. You can watch this on our YouTube channel. You can watch it on our Patreon for free, or if you're a paid tier member, we appreciate it. But yeah, go check this out there. It's a lot of fun. I can't wait to keep reviewing these movies. If you want to go read my full reviews, I put up full reviews on everything over on Letterboxd. A little bit behind. I'm going to get there this week, though, while we're off. But I am super excited to be doing this. And this is going to be a new format show for our patrons. We're doing the first episode on YouTube to kind of say hi to everybody. But without further ado, I want to introduce a wonderful gentleman and podcaster and friend who is here joining me, Mr. Sir Sturdy from the Horror Sir Sturdy podcast, Sturdovision, and Popcorn and Pints. What's up, buddy?
I guess I might as well announce this. If I keep forgetting to tell people, I only told Henry. I changed Gaming with Sir Sturdy to Sturdovision Gaming, just because it just makes sense. The Sturdovision, because Mick mentioned it, it's all reviews, but it's usually weird movies. It doesn't have to be horror, but the movie has to be weird. Speaking of weird, the TikTok video I'm dropping on Sunday was a weird movie. I'm not going to tell you what. I'm just going to say just pay attention to my TikTok on Sunday, because that movie is the weirdest Christmas movie I've ever seen in my life. And I'm happy I seen it. I would never watch it again. It wasn't a good movie, but I'm happy I seen it. And once you guys see that video, you should actually watch that movie as well right after.
Well, one thing I want to offer to everybody listening who may want to go and check out what Sir Sturdy's doing over there, and he said that the movie on Sunday that on TikTok he'll be putting up and reviewing is super weird. I know this movie. I'm not going to say it. I'm going to give you a hint. If you can go on to Real Combat, it's a Christmas movie. It was one of the movies that was proposed on Real Combat. Now, there are a lot of Christmas movies that were proposed on Real Combat. So I will say this. Good luck. And then comment.
Really quick. Jive Turkey's group chat, do not say a word, because I dropped it in there. You guys don't say anything. Yep. Don't say anything.
But there's your hint. You can go check that out. We work together very well, and we're having a lot of fun doing it. So I'm excited to do this, though, and I'm going to get us in our TikTok clip range, as I like to call it for the podcast. But so Sturdy got to watch two of the 4 movies tonight. I did check out all 4. So what's going to happen is I'm going to go through and talk about Sonic 3. I don't want to give spoilers to that because it just came out this weekend. And a lot of people are probably going to go see that, especially, families and stuff. So I don't want to give anything away for this Christmas vacation.
You want to know the spoilers for across the board then? Because they're all new?
No. We're going to do spoilers for everything. Everything else will have spoilers, but I feel like Sonic 3 being like such a big sequel, something that people are really going to see and is really popular. I don't want to spoil it. Mufasa, unfortunately, is going to get spoiled because I have a lot I need to say about that with my review, and I think you do too. So we're going to spoil that a little bit, but
we'll get to it. That one is.
No. I have to cut this off because you are Mr. Jump Ahead, and we are not jumping ahead. I have to get through these.
For the Lion King, that's why you're stopping me. You're smart.
I have to. I do want to say, guys, we are kind of going through this, but Sir Sturdy is going to be doing a Sturdovision tonight, and you want to tell him what movie that you are reviewing?
Yes, I should have the movie cover pulled up. I'll try to grab it, but it's called Zombie. It is a Tony Todd film, and the reason why I'm doing it is because Tony Todd is a legend, but unfortunately we did lose him last month. And this month on Horror Star Study it was actually going to be foreign beach horror. Yeah, so it can be warm for us people in these cold states in this month, these cold months. But after that happened, I was just like, no, we got to dedicate to Tony Todd. Like, we did a dedication episode on Sturdovision, and then I was just like, yo, guys, change of plans, and everybody was cool with it. And then January, because of a Tony Todd film that we watched, we're doing Zombies in January, so it's like a double. It's pretty dope. So zombie film we're gonna be watching tonight. I'll get the cover for you guys in a little bit, and so you guys, if you want to check it out and tune into the comments and all that, it'd be a great thing.
It's a great show. You guys really should check it out. Sturdovision and and Horror Store Sturdy. It's on the same podcasting channel, so you can always listen to either episode, but they cover a lot of different things. I always have a good time being on there and hanging out. I do want to say this, though, for anybody who's listening later and is like, well, I missed it. It was live. It's up. It's a podcast. Go listen to it. It's still a lot of fun. You can still feel that vibe of like kind of hanging out and having a good time. So it's definitely worth it. Go check it out for sure.
And I would say, I mean, I would love for you guys to listen to me everywhere audio-wise, but the YouTube, you'll get the feel more because of our facial expressions and all that and the way we all bounce off each other and energy. You're going to get it with the audio, don't get me wrong, but the visuals and audio together, you'll see. You'll see. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah. And thank you. Appreciate you all.
Absolutely. Whether you're listening or watching it, we just appreciate you. That's for sure. But let's get to our first review. This is going to be just me tonight reviewing and rating this. And it's Sonic 3. Like I said, I want to stick away from spoilers. I do really love the Sonic movies. I thought they were so much fun from beginning to end. Sturdy, what do you think about Sonic movies?
Can I share this poster real quick? The first two?
Not yet, but...
All right, I'll have it in the background thing. You could throw it up whenever. The first two, loved them. Thought they were awesome. One thing I'm so happy that Sonic did, actually two things I'm happy they did with the Sonic movie. Two things. One, the first thing's going to sound crazy to you guys, but Mick understands my brain and knows how I work. I'm so happy that they put out that terrible look of Sonic when it first was announced and all that stuff, because it got the people talking. It was genius.
They listened.
It got us all in an uproar. They either listened or they knew what they were doing. Like, listen, if we do this, because we put Sonic out perfect, yes, the people are going to be talking. But if we put him out messed up, it's going to piss everybody off that loves Sonic. And that's a lot of people. And then we go ahead and we fix it. That's not only going to make them happy. That's going to make them go say, yo, listen, no, you got to go see this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a happy accident. There's no way that was planned.
I don't know.
I do.
All right,
I know there's no way, because there's no way that budget, whether he was screwed up or not, the budget just to put that together wouldn't be worth the uproar. Because if it didn't work and then everybody was like boycotting it, that was an accident where they just realized, oh, we got to fix this.
Well, then I'll flip it another way and give them credit to where they listened and
yes,
it was right.
Not only did they listen, but they also understood the joke and how bad it was afterwards, because they put that Sonic version in the Chip and Dale movie as like a homeless Sonic because he can't get any more work since he was fired from the Sonic movie. So I gotta see that. They did a good job with it. It was funny. And so like, yeah, with these Sonic movies, the first one was phenomenal. The second one I loved. I really liked the Knuckles movies. Knuckles TV show.
For sure. I gotta watch that. I gotta finish that.
Which should be coming back for a second. I don't think they officially announced it, but should be coming back for a second season. I think they're developing. And now this third one comes out. You add Keanu Reeves to the mix as Shadow. It offers up all this whole new look at kind of where this whole new like other side of who Sonic is. You get a lot of deep like reflection or introspective things from their beginning in this one. And I will say this one thing that I really enjoyed about it is it's almost got like a horror element to it. It's a bit different of a tone. Like there is a horror element. It feels thriller but creepy at times, like well done. There's a lot about this movie I really enjoy. I think it's a good movie. It's got a lot of heart. I like all of the characters, and Jim Carrey is just dual role here. Is just funny. He's just so funny. There are some things that are a little too zany where I'm like, all right, you're getting a little too childish, even for the tone of the movies you set here. And it just seems a little too silly at times. But I do know that the kids are going to love it, and it doesn't diminish the movie that we're seeing anyway. Yeah, it's just there's the whole purpose of this is Shadow's been locked up for years being tested. And after a very devastating traumatic accident, Shadow is like filled with rage and ready for revenge. He breaks out and he is ready to take everyone down. And so Sonic and team all have to go and try and stop him. There's the stakes are higher in this one, just so everybody knows. They almost live up to the Scream 3 rules, which I like, which is like anybody, it's all off, but anybody can go at this point. And it like I said, there is a horror element to it. I think if you're going into this one expecting the previous two, I would say this is more experimental along the ways of what Knuckles was, but not as silly.
Okay.
Well, Jim Carrey is very silly in it. All of his scenes are very silly.
But you mean the tone of the full movie?
But the tone of the whole movie is a little more serious. But that's why I think Jim Carrey is so silly.
Okay.
So it didn't, like I said, it didn't take anything away from me. But it was a pretty good movie. I gave this one a 3 out of 5 for me.
Ooh.
So I think it's definitely worth seeing. It's a good follow-up, and I can't wait for more, if that makes sense. So.
I'm actually excited to see this. This is gonna show my age, but I'm Sonic Adventure 2 on the Sega Dreamcast, and it actually introduced Shadow. And the cool thing about the game was you got to be Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Shadow, and there was like 2 extra characters. I can't think of who they were offhand.
Mm-hmm.
But Shadow was like on the bad side, and Sonic was on the good side. You know what I mean? And Sonic and Shadow, they're basically the same. You know, but it was just such a cool concept for that game, and I always wanted to be, just because of red's my favorite color, and you know, the cool black and red versus, I've always picked some, just like I can't wait third movie. And from what you're saying about it and how it's getting that darker tone, and I love stuff with the darker tones with it.
I'm gonna give a hint at a spoiler. If you enjoyed the second one and the Super Saiyan Sonic.
Super Sonic?
Yeah, Super Sonic. Super Saiyan is like kind of what they call the mega power that Goku has, right?
Super Saiyan?
Is Saiyan? Okay. So if you enjoyed that Super Sonic where it was like that,
mm-hmm.
I promise you that pays off in this one.
Ooh.
Way more. Way more. It's so, yeah. Like, again, it's not like epically great. Like, I wouldn't give it above a 3. Like, I would put 1 at about a 4. I'd put 2 at about a 3.5. This one I would give a 3.5, but there is like a couple of silly things that I don't want to spoil for anybody. That I was just kind of like, you know, I didn't need it. And it kind of, like, again, it didn't take away from the story, but I was like, I just don't want to be here right now.
Okay. Quick question for you. Does for you, because you said you watched the Knuckles series, did that help with this movie as far as story wise or connection wise or anything?
Nah, you don't need to watch the Knuckles series. It helps. There are things in it that you see in a Knuckles series. You're like, oh, that makes sense. Okay, cool. That's that. Oh, I've seen that.
Okay,
and like, you know, stuff like that.
So that's enough reason for you to say we're going to be doing the Knuckles. I'm making an executive decision that we're going to be reviewing that on Popcorn and Pints. I told the guys in the group chat already, but it just makes sense because I know we're going to be watching part 3 at some point in 2025, hopefully early 2020. Well, yeah, we got some shit coming up.
The Knuckles show, and just to kind of span out into this whole Sonic thing, and I do want to talk about that. And one joke in particular they did in Sonic 3 that I just appreciate as an old man. The Knuckles TV series, when you go into it, Knuckles will be there the whole time, but it is really not about Knuckles. It's a buddy. It's like sort of a buddy film.
It is,
and and Knuckles isn't really the main focus of it. And when I heard that going in, I was like, that kind of bums me out. But I'm glad I got what I got. It's even better. So the Knuckles show was really like the Sonic world, the universe they're building is fantastic. Again, the only thing about this one, and I'm going to rewatch it because I want to, it might go up in ratings, so look on my letterbox for that. But if I'm going to go see it again and just like really delve into like what's in there, you know, I like to do that with movies I like, and especially that might sometimes bring up my rating. So I will say, go see it. I think it's fun to go see in theaters. Big time movie. Sequel if you've seen the first ones, and even a TV show. I love Sonic 3 for what it is. And I thought Keanu Reeves, although his voice is so dominant whenever he speaks, it's hard to see him as a hedgehog, but he's so badass in it. You're like, all right. It's like, it works. He's like a little John Wick hedgehog. It works for me. I did. I really enjoyed this. So, all right, but that's my rating of Sonic 3. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments. Head over. You got any questions for me, Val?
I gotta see. I want to see that bad.
I think you're gonna like it. I think you'll all like it too. So let me know what you guys think about it. Whether you're watching the whole episode, listening, or you're watching this as a clip on YouTube, we appreciate you. But we're gonna get on to the next one, which is Kraven. That's right. I watched Kraven, the Spider-Man villain that is known as the Hunter.
Was it as bad as Madam Web and that other vampire nonsense?
No. It was not as bad as either of those.
That's good.
Here's my now those were bad movies that shoehorned Spider-Man in, right?
Those were so bad that we reviewed them on Popcorn and Pints, and James missed that episode, so he made them be his punishment movies.
I know. I think that was like the birth of them. The punishment.
Yeah.
Like, that was so good.
Like when it came back, I was just like, look, man.
You gotta watch them. We had to watch them. You gotta watch them.
Yeah.
Like Morbius. Morbius
good.
has some quality to it that I enjoy because it seemed like it was actually trying to be a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like this was like, we're gonna make a movie and we'll put the Spider-Man stuff you want in there, or work it in there. Now, and I'll get to that in a second. I'm gonna do some spoilers on this one because it's been out for like a week or so.
Oh, that's fine.
So anybody who's may not want spoilers, come back or go check out my quick review of it. But Kraven for me is a character. I love Spider-Man. I grew up on Spider-Man. Spider-Man and Superman were my number 1 and number 2. And
Spider-Man,
I absolutely... Which one? Spider-Man and Batman.
Besides Ninja Turtles, that's different. Spider-Man and Batman for me, it was. Until I learned about the Green Lantern, John Stewart.
That's fair.
That's
a good one.
Him and Martian Manhunter.
Yeah.
When it was John Jones. Just because, again, it was just cool to see. But sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good, man. But with Spider-Man, I read all the comics, and I loved Kraven. Like, well, okay. I like Kraven in the comics. I loved him in the cartoon, in the animated series in the 90s. He'd show a lot, but like when he was there, it was kind of cool, and I always just loved seeing that aspect of him. So
I might have to go watch that again. Damn.
You should, absolutely. But I did, in the comics, I like... That's a Spider-Man, Kraven. Yeah, like that's a great book. Like they really shaped Kraven over the years in such a beautiful way. With that being said, is this Kraven the Hunter? No, it is not. No, it is not. It's trying to shoehorn in Spider-Man stuff. I don't know why they're making these. Thankfully, this is the last one they said they were going to make, and I'm glad. I'm very glad about it. Just give it back, please. Just give it back. Give Spider-Man back. But yeah, I will say this. I didn't dislike the movie.
Oh,
I actually gave it a much higher rating than Morbius or Madam Web, because they were both abysmal.
Oh, they were.
Aaron Taylor Johnson shines in this. And Russell Crowe, for whatever scenes he's in, is pretty good. Well, not pretty good. He's better than good. He's a fine actor. It's just that they didn't give him a lot to mess with, but he is pretty ruthless in it, and I do dig that. My biggest issue is you had a great, like almost Shakespearean type of movie where it's this son who's trying to become the world's greatest hunter, and actually almost on the way to becoming a villain, or is sort of a villain who doesn't realize it. He's trying to be so different from his dad, who's an actual, bad person. So he goes out on his own and he gets these mystical powers after he gets attacked by a lion. All of this stuff I'd be fine with. All of it. Just don't call it Kraven. Take the Rhino out. Make this about going after his father and like taking down his organization as this amazing hunter has been training for years and years and years. And that's a story I want to get behind. That's almost like a story that's believable. This, they go with the Rhino, and a lot of people didn't like the fact that the Rhino turns into the Rhino, like transforms because of a condition, versus the suit in the comics. I didn't mind it. I was like, he looks fine. Like this is a Rhino. I wouldn't mind fighting Spider-Man, but I'm watching him on safari in Africa fighting Kraven.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and you put him in there because he has a problem with Kraven's father. And then you make the whole the father-son relationship, which is the crux of all of this, and you give it like a 5-minute end, and it's like real quick. And I'm just like, so there's a lot of missteps in this, but there was a lot of promise to it. Like I would, like if they ever decide to make a Kraven movie, and I'm talking the MCU, or bring Kraven in or something, I wouldn't mind Aaron Taylor Johnson. I know he'll probably never do it again, and that's fine, and I'm not, but he wasn't a bad Kraven. I really enjoyed him. I did, like, I can't remember her name from West Side Story, and I just had it too, because I was going to talk about her. She's an Academy Award winner, and she has the dumbest lines in this. And I feel bad because they give her really nothing. And I'm like, you have fine actors in this, and you could let them really play the roles here, and you're not doing it. So overall, I gave this a 2.5 out of 5. Action-wise, if you're looking for something that's kind of fun action, it's not Madam Web level. There's no, like, the dialogue's not great, but like it's not Madam Web.
That's oh man.
I know, but what are you gonna do? But yeah, that's my review of Kraven. Like Kraven was just one, like I don't go see it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not jumping to go see this, but
and that's my opinion. I just want to point that out. That's my opinion. You want to go see it, go see it. I don't care. But if you're asking me, I'd say don't go see it. I'd say wait till it's on streaming because it's probably going to be there soon. And that's where it's really worth it. But that's my review of Kraven. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'd love to hear it. Talk about it, whether you're watching this as a clip or you're watching this on the podcast form or in the on our YouTube channel. But here's the movie that I think we're all ready to talk about. Not really, but Mufasa. We're going to review Mufasa now, The Lion King, the prequel to the live action sort of animated Lion King that came out a few years ago. And this one follows the start for Mufasa and how he and Scar, who are not related, became brothers, and how ultimately Mufasa became king. We are going to talk about spoilers in this. Both Sturdy and I watched this, so we both have ratings for it. But here's the thing, and I need to intro this real quick, is I didn't hate the movie. It just wasn't that good. It just wasn't that solid. All right. I have a feeling there's going to be a rant right after I'm done talking. That's why I'm just going to go first. I really liked Aaron Pierre playing the role. Like, he put a lot of passion into the voice of Mufasa. You tell he took this seriously, taking such a pivotal character that James Earl Jones, rest in peace, voiced. And I felt like he did a good job in that role. I didn't mind Mufasa's journey. There was a lot of things in it where I'm just kind of, all right. It was kind of eye rolls. So that's why, and I'm going to put up our ratings now. I was not surprised because, like I said, there's probably going to be a rant in a few. I gave it a 2 and Sturdy gave it a 1. Now, Sturdy, one of his favorite movies of all time is the original Lion King.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, I'm going to let you take it away, sir.
As he said, that is my favorite movie of all time. Number 1, tied with White Fang, but that's neither here nor there right now. I didn't get any type of feeling for this movie like I did with the first one. Even the first time I watched the original, I got just like that attack, something from it. I got nothing from this movie. The music really bothered me and took me out of it, besides when they would play some of the original stuff. Other than that, I did not care. I didn't connect. I just did not care. I'm just like, please stop with the song, because it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
The visuals, I dug the visuals. The visuals were cool. Okay, so let me start with some positive. I enjoyed Rafiki a lot.
Oh, I liked Rafiki too. Yeah, I thought he was good.
I enjoyed the silliness of Timon and Pumbaa.
No, I hated it.
I just because it's how they are, so it didn't bother me.
I thought they were pointless in this movie.
I do too. There was no point in them being in this at all. It was weird to me, but they had to throw them in there. I wish they would stop. I wish they didn't interrupt as much as they did. I think if they interrupted a lot less, it would have made it funnier. It would have made it hit more. But they did a little bit too much. But that's kind of how it is with movies in this generation nowadays. They do things too much. But I just, like I said, like my biggest thing was because I have such a huge personal connection, like a really strong connection with the original movie. And I didn't watch the live action one of that shit. I probably will eventually. Well, I guess I have to. But this here, it just felt like watching for me, it just felt like putting on another movie, and that just sucked. And then just again, like, I don't care about who's connected with the movie and all that. Like that doesn't bring me to the movie. I'm like, this is my favorite movie of all time, and just I still have the original, so I'm not saying this shouldn't be made or remade and all that, because I understand it's for the kids. But this, I'll probably watch this one more time in my life, and that's for Popcorn and Bites, and then that'll be it. And then with the live action thing, if we do it, probably do them together, and then I'll never watch those again ever in my life. I hated this movie. Like I gave it a generous 1 because, again, I loved Rafiki. I didn't hate Mufasa. I didn't love Mufasa, but I'm not blaming the gentleman who did who acted as him. It's one of those things where I feel like, for me, you can't change the voice of Mufasa. You can't change the voice of Darth Vader. And there's just certain characters you can't change. Like, you can't change Doc in Back to the Future. You can't change Doc or Marty, or you're gonna fuck it up. In my opinion, you're gonna fuck it up. Don't change those 2 characters. Don't change them. Don't change them. Don't change them. That's how important James Earl Jones' voice is to me for those movies.
But what about this? This is a situation where
I understand it's a prequel and all that. He was younger, but still, it's just like that. I did love how they, in memory of, and they gave him that little love and the shout out. You heard his voice in the beginning of it, but it's still just like, it's just something. It's just that connection. It's just that power with it. And I understand he was younger. And that's perfectly fine. And I'm not saying the guy did a bad job, but just for me, I didn't feel anything from this.
Some of this felt like a big cash grab in a big way. Like, Beyonce had 2 lines in it, and like the whole purpose was like, why couldn't the cub know she was pregnant?
Who was her daughter was the cub, right?
Her daughter was the cub. Kira, I think it was, played by Blue Ivy, which now I realize it was a way to have her have a part in this big movie. Mm-hmm. Nepotism. It is what it is. And I'm not even mad about her. I don't care. It's all over the goddamn place. But it did add this flavor of, like, it kept taking me out of the story because I keep going back to Timon and Pumbaa just being silly, and this young cub who I know is Simba's kid because we just saw Simba talk about it, and then he went off to find Naya, and it was just a part of the story that's trying. I understand it was trying to build that like Simba's about to become a father of a boy, but then they shouldn't have had Kira there. Like it shouldn't have been like, why have the older sister? I understand they're trying to tell like the sibling thing, but you didn't focus on the sibling thing in the movie. It was an aspect of the movie.
Yeah,
but it wasn't the main focus. And then, if anything, because it was so much not the main focus, when he comes back and gets that scar, I'm like, there was not enough drama for me to care about this moment.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what scar we're talking about, and you'll find out how he gets it. I'm also going to say something. I understand that the Lion King, and we talked about this in the group chat.
Oh, the race thing, I hated
the race thing. I was like, what? I was like, why do they all have to be just white lions? And I'm like, I'm not even mad that would be some sort of like plot to it, but I'm like, but it's lions, man. Like, I don't know why I like, you have a lot of people going to see this, and you're very clearly trying to send a message. And I'm like, can't we just tell Mufasa the story?
It didn't make any sense. That was another thing that bothered me, because it took away from the story. It took away from the importance of the story, because you're doing that like for what?
No, but it also took away from building a cool villain.
Like we have, if you go back to, I'm going back to the cartoon. If you go back to the original cartoon, all the lions were the same. I mean, they had different tans, but they were all the same for the most part.
Yeah, and it's and a great point to that. But but even with this, like, fine, even if you're gonna make them like representation of white people, you didn't. That was it. That was what made them bad, which kind of bugged me, because I'm like, Scar had in the original, he was bad, and there was levels to his bad.
Scar was,
and that's a villain. That's like a Darth Vader too. Like, like all these villains that have like a lot of like story and like we're really invested. These lions were just white, and they didn't like any lions of other color. And I was like, but why does racism have to be our driving crux here? I mean, they're animals. Because then by the time you get to the end and it's all different animals, it's like, are we coming together? Like, what? The message was very muddled in the writing, and I didn't like how they added that element. And it's like, you're very clearly shoehorning a lot in here. And the reason I bring this up for anybody watching and listening or anything is not because I have a problem with white people being the villain. No, I got no problems with that. It's if there's no purpose, if there's no reason, like maybe he formed the white lions together because he was attacked as a cub or something by a different color lion that he wasn't. And then and it adds some element, and I don't need a sympathy for this one, but a background of why he's gathering.
Mm-hmm.
And then because I think that would have added the element of Mufasa and his trying to bring people together, maybe trying to reason with them and be like, it doesn't have to be this way,
And a lot of times when you see especially, well, maybe not. Well, I think so with lions. I know with a lot of wild animals, if you see like a white, like a pure white animal, it's usually albino, and they're very, very rare. You don't see a whole fucking thing of them. I'm not 100% sure with cats, because I know cats are different.
Yeah.
But I mean, 90% of the lions I see are the tannish color. So it was an unnecessary element in my opinion, and it was something else that just kind of took me out of the story. It's like, what's the point? If you're going to do that, it should have been mixed up groups.
And just so I don't get lambasted for having brought that up, again, I don't mind if the villain was white in this. Is like a representation of white people. It's that you didn't fill out the gaps of like how this came to be. You didn't, so
threw two different colors together.
Make them, but don't do it and say thinly failed racism. Like, go all in.
Yeah.
Go on, make them really bad. And then I'm in. But not just these hunters who are like, we don't like you because you're different. Like, legit make them bad. And then Mufasa looks even stronger for it, in my opinion. But that's where, when I watch these movies, it's like, oh my God, I don't care that you're making this the crux or the reason, but make it interesting.
Make it make sense. Make it get you in the feels in one way or another, whether it be anger, whether it be upset, whether it be whatever. Make it not in the feels of just like, oh fuck, because you don't care, when's the movie going to be over? More so in the feels, like how the original hits me in the feels, because I love that movie so much.
Yep. Oh yeah, it's a great movie that does it really well.
Speak No Evil, the original, will pull some stuff out of you. That's why I love
that would 100% pull some stuff out of you. But this one is a little bit more absurd, and that is Sorry to Bother You. If you don't get a chance, go check that out. That's a little mixed movie pick for you on this one. But Mufasa, The Lion King, that's our ratings for it. I gave it a 2. Sturdy gave it a 1. It wasn't interesting, and I wish it was, because that original Lion, God, that was so interesting. There's just truly wonderful. And another thing I didn't like is that Scar in this is like almost kind of albino too. And I have to go back and watch the live action. I keep thinking about the cartoon, but didn't he have like a black mane?
Scar was tannish and he had a black mane. Yeah,
I don't even care about the tannish side. I just feel like have
a black mane.
A black mane. I assume because Scar plays such like a wimpy character in this, then who gets darker as they go. That's why they kind of like tried to associate him with the albino.
Yeah.
But that's not who I remember. So like it was just like I was kind of thrown off a little bit. But
Scar kind of reminds me of Jafar in a sense, or vice versa. Whatever one came out first. But they're very, very similar. They're very sinister. They're weak in your face, but behind your back, they're tough as nails, and they're smart as hell. Very cunning and conniving.
You ain't kidding. So, any last thoughts about Mufasa before we move on?
No, I'm gonna try to behave.
Thank you. Yeah, we dropped enough on this week's episode of the podcast. So, I would say this is Mufasa. I'd say maybe wait till it comes out on Disney Plus, which will probably be next month. I don't think you need to rush out and see this one. But and honestly, anybody who's watching or listening, tough shit. Like,
and listen,
do better.
I have an important PSA to all you parents out there. Show your children the 1994 version of The Lion King before you show them any of this other nonsense, please.
Mm-hmm.
Angela Yee has never seen this original movie, and she's watched these two, which I don't understand because she's older than I am. Angela Yee, you need to watch the original Lion King. All right,
heard it here first. But we appreciate you guys watching and listening to this. If you're watching this as a clip, you can go check out the full episode, podcast, all 9, or on the YouTube channel. But I'm very excited to talk about this one. We're talking about Carry On. We're reviewing the new movie, new action thriller starring Taron Egerton and Jason Bateman. Taron Egerton plays a TSA agent on Christmas Day, one of the busiest travel days of the year. And he and his girlfriend, who is pregnant, are now going into work for this day. But they're talking about things. And he's starting to think about life because now he's having a baby and what he wants to do with his life next. So he's wanted to become a cop, but he is very low self-esteem, and he's not sure that he could keep going. But he is fully capable to do the job. Mm-hmm. Well, he kind of gets taken, and there are going to be spoilers in this, but he gets taken almost hostage with an earpiece, and he starts being watched. And the whole purpose is as the terrorists want to get a bomb through the TSA checkpoint for a certain reason, and he is trying to stop it any way he can. And this whole movie is basically, and I'm going to tell you right now, and I truly believe this, it is not better than, it's in action movies, this is the pinnacle, but I would put it on this level. I will watch this multiple times. This will be a recurring watch for me, and that is Die Hard. I think this movie is on the level of Die Hard. Personally,
I'll agree with you, and I'll even say this and Die Hard wouldn't even be a bad back-to-back watch, either back-to-back watch in the same day or back-to-back watch in days. Yeah. Same day or, back-to-back days watching both of these films. They're both, I only seen Die Hard once, so I'll probably go back and watch that again. But I had a really good time with this movie, and it all started from our group chat where Troy, shout out to Troy and Jason, they started it off and they're going back and forth, and you're like, yo, I want to watch this movie, please don't spoil it. And all they said was, yo, the car chase, you got to check it out. And then you watched it, you didn't spoil it, you're like, yo, the car chase. And then I'm just like, shit.
Yeah, they were.
And then when you said you were reviewing it, I was like, all right, I gotta watch it.
I am so glad you watched this. I really am. You picked this one because I want more and more people. It's on Netflix, people. Mm-hmm. It's so like, what were some of your favorite parts from this movie?
I love the back and forth throughout the film with the two gentlemen over the earpiece.
Yeah.
And I loved how he listened, like, because he was just like, first of all, he was the right person for the job.
He was the right person.
100%. But just how he listened, he was so unselfish. He was like, okay, I gotta listen to this, so you won't hurt my friend's twins and his family if I do this. Mm-hmm. You won't hurt my fiance if I do this. You're gonna do this. Like, he just kept making so many different sacrifices, and then to the point where he has to take act. He's like, I made as many sacrifices as I can. I have to take action now. Like, there's no other. And the funny thing is, it ties into last night with the stream as far as like, there's no other option but take action. Yes, we're talking about this movie alone, people. There's no other option but take action. He had to take action, and I mean, I loved it.
And the whole, like, all the people working with Jason Bateman's character. Jason Bateman plays Big Bad, who's in his ear, talking to him the whole time, and really dissecting him and trying to, like, break him down into this, like, this is who you are. This is just who you are. Like, and like really break him down so he's listening. And like, it gets to a point where they are sort of in this relationship of like friendship where they're talking, and you think it's like, okay, I can just let this go. Like at one point, because like, and this is only the first half of the movie.
Yeah.
The first half of the movie is getting the bag through, and then the rest of it is just different. Like our friends Jason and Troy were not wrong when they said this. Like it is an action thriller throughout that keeps you on the edge of your seat throughout. You are invested in these characters. You are definitely invested in Taron Egerton's character getting out and stopping what needs to be stopped. But like all the hate he gets through it, everything he has to go through, like his best friends think they hate him. The girlfriend want him gone. Like the boss. Oh, the boss who's played by Dean Norris from Breaking Bad. Yeah, a lot of people meet their demise. Let's just say that.
In so many different ways, which was just cool because again, I'm the type, like I do enjoy action movies, don't get me wrong. I actually really love action movies to an extent, but I think the most boring thing in an action movie is so many guns versus the hand-to-hand combat or a quick, even if it's a poisoning or like I said, knives, swords, stuff like that, but closer combat versus just the gun. It gets boring after a while. It's too easy. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's what I appreciated about this movie is, yes, I know there was some gunfights in here, but a lot of it was real close combat or like just a quick, you know what I mean? It wasn't just shoot. That's and
I like that.
I love it for the 80s and early 90s because that's what it was and it works. But for now, I'm like, we should be better than that. We should do more than just that. It's boring.
Like, but Die Hard, I think, still stands the test of time. Like, I agree with you for the most part. Like when you watch Lethal Weapon, you're like, how can you fire so many bullets as a cop in one day and nobody says anything? Like
it came out at the right time, and I'll say, I know some people would throw like Bad Boys out there. It's connected to the franchise. So Bad Boys, the original Bad Boys came out at the right time, so the franchise is going to be what the franchise is going to be. But it's
evolved, and I think that still works in my opinion.
Yeah, it has
because and I think the cool part about it is the villain you put up against. So like that's why Die Hard works, and that's why this works for what it is. Like this is this is on Die Hard's level, but it has a lot of the same themes and action and thrilling features to it. But where it separates from it is Die Hard is very much more action leaning, where this is much more thriller leaning and mental. Yeah. Like it has a lot of really solid scenes that really like keep you wondering what's going to happen next. What is going on with this person? What's going on with this person? So there's a good mystery to it. Whereas with Die Hard, the reason I think that still stands test time and could still work today is because it's a movie where you know this guy who is outnumbered, outgunned, outpowered, the whole 9 yards. This is just, he's got to get the job done. So like the shooting in that and all that other stuff, it works because I have 12 bad guys I have to kill. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And so like that's why that works. But with this one, you can't have guns in the airport just floating around and shooting each other and going off. Like I love that when the guns are introduced in this, they're in optimal moments to still keep the secret because they still have the bad guys still have something to do.
Yes, they do.
It's really well done.
I honestly the earpiece connection, I really love that throughout the movie. I thought that was a really cool and unique way, and there was like you didn't realize how many people are connected and why they were connected. Like I love that there's a reason why people are connected. It's not just and how they made it. The most important thing was not money as far as why people were connected, and I love that because we have conversations off mic, even on mic, about how unimportant money is to you personally. You need it for this, that, and the third, but as far as like personal things mean way more to you than the dollar. And I love how in this movie, it was the people that mattered more. And it was like the guy's personal feelings that mattered more. And the only reason why he was going for that promotion is and the more money was because I'm having a child. I have to take care of my family. It wasn't, oh, money's so important. I have to take on more of these. It was like, no, I have this coming. I have to take on this now. And so I really enjoyed that.
I appreciated the stress to him of like they're trying to push him to do the police, because he always wanted to be a cop. But there's that added element in mystery shrouding him of like, but why won't he?
Yeah,
like why? And then at the end of it, when you like, even And I don't want to ruin this part because I want people to see it, but like how he defeats the bad guy is interesting and different and well done, and I really appreciated about this.
I thought that was awesome. Because automatically I'm like, I could see this in like a horror movie and that just like ending bad. For you thinking like you're good and it's just like, no, absolutely. We've seen it before, but just that you're like, absolutely, that's not good. Or maybe it is.
Listen, Hans Gruber versus John McClane is an epic showdown of brilliance. Like John McClane is street level brilliant. He gets it all from the street level. Hans Gruber's high rich thief living amongst the wealthy understands that life. And those two clashing make it so interesting. This I would put as an amplified version of Keanu Reeves and Dennis Hopper from Speed, where it's a constant badgering because, Keanu Reeves' character in that isn't the smartest. He's a smart guy. He's a capable guy. He can do his job, but he's not like, doesn't know everything. He can't just do the equations in his head that quick. Sometimes things come at him and he doesn't know how to handle it. I still maintain that this scene in Speed when he finds out that Harry dies is some of the best acting I've ever seen Keanu Reeves do, and that's a compliment because I've seen a lot of good things. Now you come to this one, it's amplified even better, and that's why I compare it to Speed, is because the talks that they have are so deep sometimes. He gets in his head, and I love that Taron Egerton's character, he plays a character named Ethan in it, and he just is all about this. He's all about trying to stop this any way he can after the fact. Like, once it gets through, I think the turning point was when the cop got killed, and that was his friend. Yeah. They called him the Leo. I don't even think they gave him a name. I'm not even sure. Like, I don't remember. Like, there's so many people. I forgot
what his name was, but there was a lot. But yeah,
I forgot everybody's name in it.
And I think right there is where he did try a couple of things. But that's where he like really started plotting. But it was when he really started plotting is remember when him and his girl are having lunch. And then he kind of dismisses her, and the guy keeps talking in his ear, like, it's time for you to stand up. I think he was listening to that part of it. It's time for me to stand up. And the way that he dismissed her and said something to kind of get her back, but he kind of seen his actually was still hurt. He was just saying in his mind, like, listen, nothing else matters. I gotta handle this any way I can. Yeah. And from then on, I mean, like, slowly but surely, he was really taking those steps. You see him taking those steps, like, as far as when he walks away from her, when he walks backwards away from her, doesn't say a word. Like, can you imagine how hard that would be right there? Yeah. Knowing that if you say something, your life is over. Let's just say it like that for the way that scene is. I'm not even going to say why, but your life is over because really nothing else matters to you at all.
Yeah. And I love that. Oh, sorry, please go ahead.
And then you can't warn them. You can't say anything. You can't do anything. You just got to walk back, say nothing, and then just run away. And it's just like, and hope that person keeps their word. That's another thing. A total stranger. You hope a total stranger
who's controlling you,
that is plotting an attack to not do something.
Yeah.
But it's like at the same time, it's your only option. It's your only choice is to trust this person, because if you don't listen, your world is absolutely done. You might as well just whatever. I'm not gonna say it, but you know what I'm thinking.
But I think that's once he got to that point, and that was the beautiful part about their like sort of cat and mouse on this was when they were just sort of the back and forth, like, through the dialogue. He got to a point where it was like, what else do I have to lose? Like when what happened to the boss happens to the boss, and I don't want to ruin it because it's very shocking, but what happens to the boss, that was one where he's just he's still in the thrust of it. He still has to turn the bomb off. Yeah. At that moment. We're still in the airport and the bomb is on at one point.
Yeah.
This thing gets intense.
Oh man, it does.
If you've ever been in a car crash, I just want to say this. There's a very intense car crash scene where you kind of get a 360 view of driving in the car. So if it's something that may be traumatic to you, you might want to keep that in mind. Just heads up.
Yeah. No, he's absolutely right about that. It could be triggering for you. I hope it's not, but if it is, you might want to pass that scene, like he was saying.
Yeah.
But it is if it's not that scene, like especially the end of that scene, it's just dope. You're like, oh shit, I was not expecting that.
No. But I have been in accidents on highways.
Oh.
And like, so I was watching it and I was like, this is uncomfortable. Like, I'm okay, but I was like, this is uncomfortable. So I'm sure if like anybody else is truly like harder I don't want to say harder, but like more affected by or living with that trauma.
Yeah,
It could probably trigger you a little bit, so just keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm. I want to connect this with the movie Stream. I'm going to tell you why. When it really mattered, when it really hit for this gentleman, actually, I'll say for both fathers in the films, because he's an expecting father and the other guy's a father, is for him, it's when he sees his fiance in danger. For the fathers, when he sees his wife gone. Like, because right then and there is where he was like, I got to go get my kids. There was nothing else. Nothing else mattered at that point. I got to get my kids. And even up to the point to where what happens to him happens, and the way it happens, how he's like, listen, I need you two to stand by each other, stick up for each other. This is not your fault. You were sticking up for your brother. This is not her fault. She was sticking up for you, type of deal, where it's like, I'm going to protect you guys any way that I can until my last breath, type of deal. And I feel like he finally, once that one scene after the lunch scene, the one I was talking about, where he had to run from her.
This is going back to, by the way, this is Carry On again. So I just wanted to, I didn't want anybody to get
confused. Sorry. Going back to Carry On. Going back to Carry On. I was just going to do a little connection. Going back to Carry On, where he runs away from her. I feel like it's that same moment as when he sees his wife gone. It's where it's like, I have to save. It's more important than just, not only is it more important than just me and her, it's more important. It's everybody here. It's not just us two anymore, or us three, I'll say. It's everybody I have to save.
Well, I think his intuition, the good thing about he had like a cop intuition that they show in movies, and I'm speaking this from a writing standpoint. Like if you're writing a cop, like that's an intuition you're going to show with certain scenes that they showed, like when he's listening to the sounds in the thing and like looking around, and he's kind of trying to pinpoint, and he does. And then like how he writes the note, things like that. In that scene, you're right, when he's backing away and he's walking away from her and he's not saying a word and he kind of broke her heart. I think that's his intuition saying, I know he can't do anything to her because he still needs me. But it's still so heartbreaking. That's like, I'm still going to follow.
You know what? That's absolutely right. Because if that's like your only, I hate to use it like this, but your only bargaining chip for me to listen to you is that, and then you take that away, I really don't care that. Like, I know there's other, it's a selfish, I guess you could say, well, not I guess, it is a selfish, sad thing to say, but at the same time, it's like most people are like that, where it's like, I don't care about anyone or anything else more than that. So why should I even go stop? I'm just going to leave. Bye. Do what you got to do. I don't care. I have no ties to nothing anymore, which it's, and I don't know if I want to say it's sad to say, because I can't honestly say I'd be any different.
Yeah, no, same.
Like it's one of those things where everybody says I'll still be the hero, this, that, and the third, because it's the whole movie thing. But like a real thing like that, it's like, why do I even care? Like, why should I even try? No. As sad as it is to say, in that sense of not even trying to be the hero and all that, but you know what I mean? Saving everybody. It's like,
well, you mean try after he breaks up the girl? Well, no, he doesn't break up with her, but like they get in a fight, you mean?
No, I'm saying try if the guy, you know what I'm saying? Because if the bargaining chip is taken away.
If he had taken her out. Yeah. Well, yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, that's going to devastate you. That's why like the chip was always going to stay on the table as long as it could.
Yeah.
It was just such a, like, we've been talking about this for a while, and I'm glad we were, and I know we got to get going because you have you're starting to get ready for your show prep and stuff, and you do watch along and such. So let's give our ratings for this first and foremost. I gave it a 4 and you gave it a 4.5. That's the highest I think I've seen your rating on my show in a long time.
I'd bump this up to a 5. This was really good, and just talking about it more, this was an excellent movie. You guys should definitely check it out, and check out Stream too. It's an independent movie. You should check it out anyway. But
if you're into horror, especially, because it's a
very
horror fan, gore type of fest, like
slashers.
Not terrible though. Like, I think you really still enjoy it. Like if you don't like gore, I think you'll still be okay with
it. And I mean, honestly, I'm not even saying it for. I mean, slasher and horror is my favorite stuff, but not even for that. Just to see if you guys pick up on the connection I was talking about, that we were talking about with these two films, with the two fathers. I'll say yes, the two fathers, because he deserves to be called that. And kind of see if you guys pick it up and see if you have any different opinions. If you do, drop them in the comments, please. That would be awesome.
Yeah, would definitely love to hear you guys. Thank you so much for that. And guys, just so you know, this is the last episode of the Scene Snobs. Anything until January 30th. Not January 30th, I'm sorry. December 30th, where we're going to do some more reviews and review Nosferatu and other stuff coming out as well. It's going to be a little more horror, I think, that one, because I have some horror I have to catch up on. But we appreciate you guys being a part of it. If you do like, I usually do mixed movies picks on our podcast. Like, this isn't one for today, but this is what I normally do. And then I turn those into what I call classic film reviews, which are like 3-minute videos They kind of go over like the history of the movie and stuff like that while you watch the trailer and a couple other graphics I put together. If you do like those, I am dropping about 15 of them next week. I'm just going to do a ton of classics, just kind of Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah. I'm just going to drop them all. And then like, they're just about different classic movies that I really appreciate. And I hope you guys like them. I'm trying to get to 1 million views over on YouTube. So I'd appreciate you guys getting me there before the end of the year. I appreciate you guys being a part of it. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, be a part of the Snob Nation. We love movies and we know you do too. So come hang out with us. My friend here, Sir Sturdy, he is the man. Go check him out on the Horror with Sir Sturdy podcast. I love that show. I'm a fan. Sturdovision. I am on Popcorn and Pints with him as like sort of a semi minion. And we're going to be doing our Secret Santa tomorrow night starting at 8 live. And then we're going to go and we're going to talk about the movie Red One. So
I cannot wait.
But tonight on Stardovision, we will be talking about zombies.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm hoping it's halfway decent. I'm hoping Tony Todd's in a lot of this movie and has a dope role. Either way, it's for the love of Tony Todd. And I gave Matt the finger because he owns this movie and he sent me a picture of it. So I sent him a video of flicking him off. But if you watch Stardovision, you'll understand the joke. You'll understand why it's all out of love. But I can't wait. I haven't seen the movie yet. I'm about to watch it in a few minutes and have a great time with it, I hope. And I'm going to have a great time with it. I'm going to make it a great time. Then we're going to review it at midnight. And I hope you guys are there to watch us. Please check us out. And again, tomorrow, 8 o'clock, we are kicking it off with our Secret Santa. And then we're going to dive right into the review of Red One. And that'll be it for Sir Sturdy. That'll be it for Popcorn and Pines for the year, unless I do some random stuff gaming. We'll see. Of course, my shorts, I'll keep going with that. But as far as like the long form shows, be back January 1st reviewing. I forgot what, but I'll let you guys know at some point.
Yeah, just make sure you're following everywhere so you know what we got going on. He's absolutely right. We got a lot of stuff coming up. But yeah, we take the time off during Christmas, spend time with family and stuff like that. Yes. But we have tons of content for you to go check out on our channel, so go check it out. We're going to be doing this more often. Again, we took the movie reviews off of the main podcast and we're just making the movie reviews its own podcast and clips. So thank you guys. Join our Patreon for free or paid tiers. The free tier will get you newsletter, we do giveaways, we have all our links on there and more, and tons of other stuff going on, and also get you into our Discord. So thank you guys so much for being a part of it. Until Oh, yeah, please.
I just want to say one last thing about Popcorn and Pines. Make sure you guys tune in. Yes, for the Secret Santa, for the reviews, but we're going to be announcing what we're going to be kicking off with in January. Yes, we're going to be doing another franchise, another long-ass franchise, another, 12 or 13 weeks of some stuff. But we're going to let you guys know tomorrow night. And this is going to be a thing for us on Popcorn and Pines, doing at least 1 or 2 a year to get them knocked off, just because, there's a lot that I haven't seen, and there's a lot we all want to see. So, boom. Hopefully you guys tune in for all that. But
if I may give just a little bit of a hint, I'm not going to say what it is, but I'm going to say it's a franchise, if that's okay. It's the only thing I'm going to say. It's a franchise. If you follow Popcorn and Pints, and even on Sir Sturdy, franchises get talked about quite a bit, and they get followed and watched in order, and it's wonderful. We've done a lot of stuff, and it's great. So there's a new one coming up. We're very excited for that. And also, 2 of the classic film reviews are movies from that franchise to coincide with what we're doing. I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun. Thank you guys so much. We truly appreciate you. Remember to follow for more. Check out the Scene Snobs. And remember, be kind to each other, because that's so important. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. Just anything. Just be kind and go out and be good people. And let's start 2025 off right. I love you guys. And until next time, I'm Mick Manhattan. Take care of yourselves.
Peace.